Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Raywat Deonandan here again. If you don't know who I am an epidemiologist and an associate professor at the University of Ottawa, where I'm currently the holder of the chair in university teaching, studying how we might use artificial intelligence in the classroom and other applications. So I recently wrote a paper called Enhancing Student Writing in Higher Education Through ChatGPT, Applications and Implications. And my intent in that paper was to explore how we can accommodate this new technology in classrooms, especially around writing tasks. I'm a professional writer. It's something really close to my heart. I know a lot of people watching this are really quite concerned about the ways in which technologies like ChatGPT are changing writing, maybe even devaluing writing. And how we teach students how to write today is really quite complicated because a lot of students, frankly, are leaning hard on these new AI technologies to possibly commit fraud. So what I want to do with this video is go through my arguments in that paper about why I think maybe this is not necessarily the end of the world and how we can accommodate this new technology in our teaching tasks. Writing has always been central to higher education. Let's start with something basic. In universities, writing isn't just about grammar or essays. Writing is one of the main ways students learn to think, how to organize ideas, how to build arguments, how to communicate clearly, how to reason through complexity. So, when a tool comes along that can generate fluent text in seconds, it naturally raises big questions. Is this helpful? Is it harmful? Is it cheating? Or is it simply the next step in educational technology? ChatGPT can support the writing process. One of the arguments I make in the paper is that ChatGPT can genuinely help students if it's used correctly. For example, it can act like a kind of writing assistant, helping students brainstorm, suggesting clearer phrasing, improving structure, ordering feedback on tone or readability. For students who struggle with writing, or for students writing in a second language, this kind of support can be significant. It lowers the barrier to entry. It makes writing feel less intimidating. In that sense, it can enhance learning. But of course, there's an important catch. The risk is that AI can replace thinking instead of supporting it. Writing is not just a product, it's a process. And one of the concerns I raise is that if students begin using AI as a shortcut, simply generating an essay and submitting it, then they might bypass the very cognitive work that writing is meant to develop. A student might turn in something that looks polished, but has the student actually learned how to reason? Have they developed their own voice? Have they engaged critically with the topic? Those are the deeper educational stakes here. ChatGPT and other kinds of generative AI can improve surface level fluency, but it can't replace genuine intellectual development. Academic integrity is now much more complicated, because this leads to the obvious question: is using ChatGPT cheating? And the honest answer is, it depends. If a student copies AI-generated text without attribution, that clearly raises integrity concerns. But if a student uses AI the way they might use a grammar checker, a tutor, a brainstorming partner, then the ethical picture becomes less clear. What we're seeing is that traditional definitions of plagiarism and authorship are being stretched, and institutions are struggling to keep up. In the paper, I argue that banning these tools outright is probably unrealistic. Instead, educators need to adapt. The real challenge is educational design. So what should universities do? My position is that the most productive approach is not panic, but redesign. We need to rethink assignments and learning goals. We should emphasize skills that AI can't easily replicate, such as critical thinking, personal reflection, oral defense of ideas, applied reasoning, ethical judgment, and we need clearer guidelines about what is acceptable AI use. Students need instruction, not only in writing, but in AI literacy, because this technology is not going away. Despite the challenges, I'm not pessimistic. If used responsibly, AI could actually strengthen education. It could allow students to revise more often. It could provide feedback faster. It could support learners who have been historically disadvantaged by traditional academic writing norms, but only if we treat it as a tool within a thoughtful pedagogical framework, not as a replacement for learning. The bottom line. Here's the takeaway. ChatGPT is already transforming student writing, and the task now is to guide that transformation ethically and intelligently. The goal isn't to stop students from using AI anymore. The goal is to ensure they still learn how to think, write, and communicate as independent human beings, because writing is still one of the most powerful educational tools we have, and the presence of AI simply forces us to ask more urgently than ever, what is writing really for anyone? Well, thank you for listening to me drone on about my paper. If you like this kind of content and would like to hear me talk more about the ongoing research that I'm doing in a more accessible way on this channel, do drop me a comment in the comment section and click on like and subscribe, I guess. I don't really care. Do it or don't. Whatever makes you happy. Thank you.